My name is Jack Fleming of the Boston Athletic Association, President and CEO. It's my great privilege to welcome you all to today's public safety press conference ahead of the 128th Boston Marathon presented by Bank of America. Our 30,000 participants are starting to arrive in town. You've seen them. Runners are coming in from 129 countries, all 50 states, and we welcome almost 4,500 from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We're just 3 days away from race day. We're 2 hours away from the Expo, Bank of America Boston Marathon Expo, opening up at the Heinz Convention Center. And we're just 1 hour away from our Bank of America Professional Athlete Press Conference, which will occur in this very same room in an hour. And you are all invited to stay and come back for that press conference as well. Our theme this year is History in the Making. We're celebrating the 100th anniversary of the race starting in Hopkinton. We're celebrating all those who realized the dream of making it to Hopkinton, but also the entire journey and those who crossed the finish line in Boston. The legacy of the Boston Marathon is defined by the unique spirit embodied by the 8 cities and towns, each spectator's cheer, and every volunteer's eagerness to lend a hand, and every participant's desire to be part of the history. But without the support of our public safety organizations, 9,500 volunteers in 8 cities and towns, we could not put on this event the way we do. They are a big part of history and our participants making their own history. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to them and to the teams they lead for their unwavering help and their support in staging the world's oldest annual marathon. Today is a chance to hear from these organizations that play the pivotal role in making all that our work at the B.A.A. possible. We're grateful for all that they do and for all that you do in the media, and we hope that everyone has a great day on Monday. I would like to invite Mayor Michelle Wu to comment on from Boston perspective. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much, Jack, and good morning, everyone. I am thrilled to be here, getting ready. We're getting the rain out of the way so that we will have a wonderful day on Monday. And I'm so thankful here in gratitude for the many, many public safety partners who come together to ensure this largest event all year in Boston goes smoothly and is a family-friendly, fun, memorable event for everyone throughout the entire year. It is wonderful to partner on behalf of the City of Boston to host the world's oldest annual marathon. And I want to thank Jack for your 7 years of leadership with the B.A.A., first as COO and now as CEO. I'm also thankful to be here with so many colleagues in public service. Of course, our Commissioner, Michael Cox, our Chief of Emergency Management for the city, Chief Shumeen Benford, Chief James Hooley from Boston EMS, and our Fire Commissioner, Paul Burke, alongside Jody Cohen, Special Agent in Charge at the FBI, Deputy Secretary Terry from Massachusetts Office of Public Safety and Security, Director Brantley from MEMA, Colonel John Mon from the State Police, and of course, Chief Green from the MBTA Police. I will keep my part more focused on what I appreciate so much about the marathon, because there are so many experts in public safety to talk about the coordination and the preparation that has gone into this. I will say that yesterday I had the chance to join the Boston Police Department's briefing among all of our law enforcement partners all along the route and across different community organizations. And as always, they were discussing every little detail, even tweaks from last year to ensure that traffic flow would go as smoothly as possible in the parts that may be impacted, and that safety is always paramount. But I want to tell the story of two snapshots of residents and how the marathon and all that goes into the preparations ends up impacting the people of Boston. Last week I joined Rob, who's a member of Black Men Run, who is a member of the City of Boston's cohort this year in the marathon, and who has been deeply involved in arts and culture in our city. I joined him on his morning commute from Rosendale to work. We talked about how he got into running, how many marathons he already has run, and how the fact that even though he's done them before, this one is special because it's his first Boston. It was such an inspiration to be able to see into the everyday life of someone who's doing something so extraordinary on Monday. And Rob is one of tens of thousands of runners we're excited to cheer on in just a couple of days. Earlier in the week, I had the chance to spend some time at the Boston United Track Club Gala, their first event that brought all of their families and runners and supporters together. And we saw 3 of the city's youngest runners sharing their story of how powerful an experience it has been to push themselves, to be coached, to get the chance to dream and imagine, and to do so in a city where we are the world's example of possibility and potential. So I want to thank the Boston Athletic Association and everyone who makes the Boston Marathon possible, because the impacts go far beyond one day's event, although the one day takes a lot of work. Our teams at every level have been working hard to ensure that the marathon is a safe, fun, and welcoming space for all runners, volunteers, and spectators. At the city level, our police, EMS, fire, transportation, and emergency management departments have all been working closely to ensure everyone's safety. This year, the Boston Marathon also falls on One Boston Day. That's a day to honor and commemorate the tragedy and loss that our community experienced in 2013. And in the spirit of community, every year since then, Boston has come together on April 15th to perform acts of love and kindness for one another. Everyone, whether you're a longtime Bostonian or just visiting us on race day, everyone is invited to join us this weekend as we perform acts of kindness and service throughout the city. And you can find a list of those many events happening at boston.gov/one-Boston. Join us at City Hall Plaza starting today at 3 p.m., where we will be hosting the Boston Marathon Fan Fest going through Sunday. I know that's normally in Copley Square, but it is downtown this year because of the renovations, and we are thrilled to host at Boston City Hall. There will be live entertainment, yoga classes, and runs and races to get everyone excited for the race, so join us this afternoon or all day tomorrow and Sunday. All of us at the city and the B.A.A. are also excited to continue our new tradition, which started last year, of recognizing the fastest Bostonians in each of the 3 categories. We'll celebrate the fastest woman, man, and non-binary runner from this year's marathon. And finally, I know even though there's so much history attached to the world's oldest annual marathon, that it is also evolving every year, with the team seeking to find ways to make it even more accessible, even more inclusive. And this year, with an expanded field of para-athletes, with a new program for Boston marathoners that includes 48 runners who are participating to represent our neighborhoods without barriers, we are so excited at the support that this is going to generate for all of the community organizations who will be represented as the causes and mission of those runners. We are also thrilled to keep helping the world's oldest annual marathon become and embody the spirit of our city of Boston. So I'm so excited for the 128th running of the Boston Marathon and hope to see you all out in our communities or at FanFest this weekend. Now, before I pass it on to Deputy Secretary Terry, un poco otra vez en español. Buenos días. Es maravilloso asociarnos con la B.A.A. cada año para organizar el maratón anual más antiguo del mundo. Me alegra estar aquí con todos mis colegas que sirven como funcionarios públicos y ayuden a que todo salga bien. Vamos a darles ánimo a las decenas de miles de corredores en tan solo un par de días. Nuestros equipos en cada paso del planeamiento han estado trabajando duro para garantizar que el maratón sea un evento seguro, divertido e inclusivo para todos nuestros corredores, voluntarios y espectadores. Ese año, el maratón de Boston también coincide con un día que llamamos One Boston Day, o el Día de Boston. Es un día para honrar y conmemorar la tragedia y la pérdida que nuestras comunidades sintieron en el 2013. En esos días previos al maratón, todos como voluntarios realizaremos actos de generosidad y amor para nuestra ciudad. También los invitamos a celebrar en City Hall Plaza hoy, a las 3 de la tarde, porque hemos organizado el Fan Fest del Maratón de Boston. Habrá entretenimiento en vivo, clases de yoga y carreras para entusiasmar a todos los fanáticos del maratón, así que vengan a celebrar esa tarde o todo el día mañana y el domingo. Estoy muy entusiasmada por el maratón de Boston este año y espero verlos a todos celebrando en nuestras comunidades o en el Fan Fest este fin de semana. Y por supuesto, a todos los corredores de este año, nos vemos en la línea de meta. Gracias. And now it is my honor to pass it on to Susan Terry, Deputy Secretary at the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security.
Thank you so much, Mayor Wu. Good morning, everyone. My name's Sue Terry, and I'm the Deputy Secretary of the Executive Office of Public Safety, and it's my pleasure to be here with you all this morning in anticipation of the 128th running of the Boston Marathon. On behalf of Governor Healy, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, and Secretary Terry Reedy, I want to thank our federal, state, and local partners for their commitment and essential contributions to public safety planning and race day coordination. Your contributions are vital to race day success and our shared goal of ensuring a joyous and safe Marathon Monday for runners, spectators, coordinators, and staff, not to mention our many, many volunteers. As we are all profoundly aware, events of this magnitude present unique security concerns and require months of meticulous planning and advanced coordination. Our state agencies, in close coordination with our many stakeholders, have developed a comprehensive and robust public safety strategy. As always, our multi-jurisdictional security plan is guided by past lessons and strengthened by our proven ability to adapt to emerging circumstances. Most importantly, the security plan centers around extraordinary levels of collaboration. Massachusetts has a proud and proven history of strong relationships among our federal, state, and local law enforcement partners. Our unified approach and combination of resources support our collective ability to prepare, prevent, and respond as needed. We are grateful to our partners at the Boston Athletic Association who have worked alongside us for months to make this a great race day. We appreciate the significant contributions from all our local municipalities along the race route, including police, fire, EMS, public works, transportation, and public health, all of whom have been deeply involved for many months in public safety planning for Monday's race. Our federal partners are integral to our comprehensive safety and security plans. I want to acknowledge FBI, who will be here from shortly, and our partners at the Department of Homeland Security, FEMA, ATF, and the FAA. I also want to highlight the contributions of our partners in state government, including the dedicated teams of professionals at the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency, the State Police, the Department of Fire Services, the National Guard, MassDOT, and the Department of Public Health, all of whom are critical to planning and successful race day operations. I ask everyone to remember that safety and security are our shared responsibilities. Please remain aware of your surroundings, and if you see something, say something. Call 911 or approach an officer along the route. Please also adhere to the spectator guidelines that the B.A.A. has put out. As we all cheer our runners on, and we ask for the public's participation in supporting public safety and what we anticipate will be a safe, very family-friendly, and completely exciting race day. And now I'd like to introduce MEMA Director Dawn Brantley, who will provide more information about security planning and what spectators should expect to see on race day. Thank you all.
Thank you, Deputy Secretary Terry. I am honored to be standing here among our local, state, and federal partners who continuously contribute their expertise and experience to planning and preparing for the Boston Marathon. Each of the agencies represented here on stage and throughout the room have given unwavering support and dedication to the safety of everyone involved in race day for well over a decade. Their dedication to this effort is outstanding, and I echo the words of gratitude and praise that you've already heard this morning. A marathon that runs through 8 cities and towns requires complex and coordinated preparedness efforts, including months of planning meetings, focused working groups, and multiple exercises to validate our safety plans. This effort would not be possible without the cooperation of the B.A.A., the 8 cities and towns along the race route, the state and federal agencies you see here this morning, and the rest of the more than 48 agencies and organizations involved in race day preparations. When it comes to the Boston Marathon, we are one team with one mission: a safe and successful race day for everyone. Beginning at 6 a.m. on Monday, April 15th, the State Emergency Operations Center, located at MEMA's headquarters in Framingham, will once again be home to the Boston Marathon's Unified Coordination Center. The UCC will serve as the central coordination hub for all agencies and organizations that work to maintain public safety and security across the marathon race course. In the Unified Coordination Center, we help coordinate multi-jurisdictional decision-making, information sharing, resource requests, and help maintain situational awareness among all partner agencies from Hopkinton to Boston. There will be approximately 133 staff representing 48 local, state, and federal agencies and non-governmental organizations at the UCC on race day, with several other organizations supporting virtually. MEMA will deploy our 2 mobile emergency operations centers to Hopkinton and Brookline to support public safety, decision-making, and coordination. 12 MEMA staff will be deployed in the field to the B.A.A. Race Operations Center, Boston Emergency Operations Center, and local emergency operations centers in communities along the route. MEMA leadership will lead and direct the UCC and will have staff in key roles to facilitate a timely and coordinated response to any incident or event that may arise. Everyone should be able to enjoy this event, so we ask for the public's help in keeping the race route safe and clear. We cannot accomplish this without you. Check your phone settings to make sure emergency alerts are enabled to ensure that you can receive any urgent public safety messages. This is important every day and not just on Marathon Monday. Follow the directions of law enforcement and race officials and understand that there will be a significant presence of law enforcement all along the race course with enhanced safety procedures, including checkpoints and bag checks. The FAA will have flight restrictions in place, so please leave your drones at home. Once again, I want to share my sincere appreciation and admiration for all of our public safety partners. I want to thank each and every one of you for your extraordinary efforts leading up to and on race day. I am truly honored to be a part of such an incredible team. It's now my pleasure to introduce Special Agent in Charge, Jody Cohen from the FBI Boston Division, to provide an overview of the FBI's preparations for this year's race and a current threat assessment.
Good morning, and thank you, Dawn. This is my first marathon as SAC here in Boston, and I have been extremely impressed with the collaboration and coordination conducted for this year's race. Every agency represented here today plays a critical role on race day, and I want to thank everyone for their hard work and partnership. At this point in time, the FBI is not aware of any specific or credible threats targeting this year's marathon. While we are confident in this assessment, we are asking you to remain vigilant because the threat landscape can change at any time. The threats we are facing from domestic, international, and state-sponsored terrorism actors are all elevated. The ongoing war in the Middle East has raised the possibility of an attack against Americans here at home. Since the start of the conflict, we have seen calls to action from foreign terrorist organizations to attack the United States. But our most immediate concern are homegrown violent extremists or lone actors who self-radicalize with little to no warning and look to attack soft targets. While this is certainly a time for heightened vigilance, it is by no means a time to panic and stop going about our daily day. The team standing here today continue to maintain a high state of readiness to protect the Commonwealth from any threat that may arise. Similar to past years, the FBI will deploy over 150 personnel to support this year's race. Our agents, analysts, task force officers assigned to the Joint Terrorism Task Force will be integrated throughout all aspects of the route. Our highly trained specialty teams, including Special Agent Bomb Techs, Evidence Response, Hazardous Material Response, and SWAT, will be ready to respond. FBI personnel will be embedded within command posts to share intelligence, monitor and investigate any real-time threat information we receive. But all of you are an extension of our eyes and ears, and I can't stress enough the importance of speaking up when you come across someone or something that doesn't seem quite right. When people speak up, history has shown we increase the chances of preventing tragedies from occurring. In closing, I want to thank everyone here for their role they play in the safety and security of this event. It takes a highly functioning team to execute an undertaking of this magnitude. And FBI Boston is excited to be a part of the 128th running of this historic race. Good luck to all the runners, and now I'll turn it over to Massachusetts State Police Colonel Jack Vaughn.
Thank you. Thank you to our public safety partners, to the Boston Athletic Association and the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency for bringing us together. I would like to thank the Healy Driscoll administration, Public Safety Secretary Terrence Reedy, Deputy Secretary Susan Terry, and Undersecretary Gina Kwan for their support of the state police and our partners in this mission to protect the safety of the participants and spectators of this outstanding event. I'd also like to extend a congratulations to the town of Hopkinton for the 100th anniversary of hosting the marathon starting line. Congratulations, Chief, Sergeant. It's a real tribute to your community and to your organization. Each year, we build on the previous year's security operation. The plan to protect the event is rigorous and dynamic. There are multiple and redundant layers of security, some of which are visible and obvious, and many others that will not be noticed by the public. We are prepared to adapt our tactics on the fly if intelligence or events so dictate in the days leading up to the race through its completion. We are prepared to deal with any potential disruptions caused by demonstrators to block the race route. Our special emergency response team and our local partners train regularly on that specific capability of our security mission. The public will see uniformed troopers, local police officers, National Guardsmen, and tactical units such as canines and explosive and hazardous material detection teams. When they look up, they will see our air wing and drone unit providing overflight security. I hope the public also takes comfort in knowing that a rigorous joint intelligence operation, which includes our Commonwealth Fusion Center, the Boston Regional Intelligence Center, and the FBI, has been collecting, analyzing, and following up on information related to potential threats or disruptions for months. At the Homeland Security Operations Center at the State Police General Headquarters, we, along with our partner agencies, will monitor numerous stationary security cameras along the route and downlinked footage from aerial assets. We once again will deploy undercover troopers and officers who have been trained to recognize behavioral red flags that might indicate that someone is a safety threat. The development of our BOSAR unit, which stands for Behavioral Observation and Suspicious Activity Recognition, and which spearheads this effort, is one of numerous additions and improvements made to our security capabilities over the last decade. Our Fusion Center has activated an MSP Tips text-to-tip line for the marathon. Anyone who has information about or observes suspicious activity can send a text message to 226-787. That's 226-787. You, of course, can also call 911 at any time. Spectators should expect enhanced security protocols at certain areas, including checkpoints and bag checks conducted by B.A.A. security, There are several types of items that spectators are urged not to bring with them, including backpacks and suitcases, certain types of containers, and props, such as costumes and signs. A full list of these items is available on our social media pages and mspnews.org. FAA flight restrictions will be in place on race day, and public use of private drones over the race route is prohibited. We wish the runners and spectators a great race day and remind the public, as always, that if they see or have knowledge of anything or anyone suspicious, contact us immediately. Thank you. It is my great pleasure to introduce the Commissioner of the Boston Police Department, Commissioner Michael Cox.
Thank you, Colonel. As you can see, there's a well-coordinated plan for this throughout the city, the state, and all our federal partners for this. In addition to the marathon that day, there will be also a Red Sox home game starting at about 11:10 a.m. The game brings an additional tens of thousands of people to the city, particularly in the Kenmore Square area, neighborhoods of Boston, and will impact the area around 2 o'clock, bringing a great deal of crowds. Our officers will be in uniform and plain clothes throughout the marathon day, and will be strategically deployed both inside and outside the barriers and throughout the course. We want everyone to have a good time and remind everyone that you need proper credentials to be on the running field, and also the staff within the B.A.A. has control of credential giving for that. Our officers throughout the day will be very vigilant, and we ask in the public, again, as has been said many times before, if you see something, say something. There's nothing more important to that. We need your support for all of us to stay safe. Just this week, the Boston Police Department added a new component to our Crime Stoppers program. You can now upload photos and videos anonymously. For details on how to do that, go to our website at bpdnews.com. As far as getting around the city on Marathon Day, there will be road closures starting at 5 a.m. There are many, many road closures, so again, we will ask you to go to the bpd.news site to see the listings of those. And it's not only Marathon Day, but it's also throughout the weekend. Please, please, please try not to drive into the city on Marathon Day. Try to use public transportation, as Chief Green will probably talk about after I'm done here. But there will be a large amount of people and a large amount of traffic and a lot of closures, and parking will not be readily available, so please make plans accordingly. This will be a great day, as already mentioned. It's certainly a family fun day, but we also want to emphasize and remind, particularly the large portion of college campuses and universities we have along the route, we love your enthusiasm a great deal, but we have expectations for you, and there will be no public drinking and use of marijuana along the route. And we ask that you remember that this is a family-friendly event and act accordingly. Again, I'm going to emphasize no one is allowed to enter on the marathon route, and that will be enforced throughout today. Bag checks in the city, there will be many of them, as described earlier. And so we also emphasize do not bring large backpacks, glass, and any weapons of any sort to the area. And we also remind folks, please keep your bags with you and don't leave them unattended. We are asking the public that if they see something to say something, and so we don't need additional calls because you've lost a bag or left a bag out there. And so the city is certainly got a lot going on, and the remaining part of the city, we will have officers throughout. The majority of the Boston Police Department will be working, as I talked about, both in plain clothes and in uniform. And we are looking for and supporting this exciting event coming up and keeping the entire city safe. So up next is Chief Green from the MBTA. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning. My name is Ken Green. I'm the Chief of the MBTA Transit Police Department. I just want to reiterate what FBI has already stated. There is no intelligence, credible or otherwise, that would suggest that the MBTA or the marathon are targets. However, we'll continue to stay in close contact with our local, state, and federal law enforcement partners throughout the day. With that being said, we're well prepared, and I'm confident in our training, but more importantly, in our collective experience with handling large-scale events such as the Boston Marathon. We will have an increased uniformed police presence throughout the system to ensure everyone's safety, but we'll also increase our explosive detection unit teams with their EDU canines around the system as well. Just another layer of safety we provide for our riders. But the best resource that law enforcement has is the public. So we ask, if you see something, say something. Be our extra set of eyes and ears. The more eyes and ears out there, the better. Transit Police can be contacted at 617-222-1212, or you can speak directly to any public safety official or transportation official you see at the event to report anything suspicious. Also, if you have a smartphone, please download the free CSA app that the MBTA provides for its riders. It's an app that allows you to send messages, videos, and/or photographs anonymously, which goes straight to transit police operations. It goes directly to a monitor, which is monitored 24/7. A dispatcher will most likely send you a reply, and we'll send officers out there immediately to investigate. So it's a great tool that the MBTA provides for its riders, and again, it's free. Regarding service on Marathon Monday, Copley Station will be closed and will remain closed for the day. Subway and commuter rail service both will run on a weekday schedule. Buses will operate on a modified Saturday schedule. But if more information is needed, please access our website at mbta.com. Our next speaker is going to be from the Boston Office of Emergency Management, Shemaine Bedford.
Morning, everyone. I want to start by thanking Mayor Wu for her leadership in supporting the city departments, particularly emergency management in this case, in our work and collective effort to make this the safest and the most joyous marathon yet. I also want to thank my colleagues represented here today. So many of them do this work tirelessly over the course of the last several months to make sure that we have a robust plan, and I do, as you've heard here, echoed here today, believe that we have a solid, comprehensive plan to keep our race safe for all to come in and enjoy. And lastly, I want to recognize my staff from OEM that has worked tirelessly behind the scenes with a range of different partners to do the work. We have open lines of communication at emergency management with our local, state, and federal partners, as well as our private sector and regional partners. The B.A.A. is a main central hub on that day, and is an extremely valuable tool and resource for us in helping to coordinate across the various different assets that make this race day possible. The interagency coordination for the city of Boston, as well as with our stakeholders, has been going on for months now. And again, we feel as though we have a comprehensive plan, particularly as it relates to city departments, not only led through a public safety lens, but as we think about the entire city enterprise and any part of our city or communities that could be impacted. The Emergency Operations Center will be activated during the marathon and well positioned to coordinate with all of our partners. We will have representatives at the state EOC, the UCC. We'll have open lines of communication with the Boston Police Department and their various assets, the state EOC, as well as the B.A.A. race ops. Our goal is to ensure that the race is safe for not only the runners, but our guests, as well as our staff that's going to be working on that day. You've heard a common theme here today around shared responsibility. If you see something, say something. You are, as the Chief just mentioned, one of our greatest assets. We've asked the same with all of our city partners as well as private partners that are going to be doing the work along the route, to not only think about the work as it relates to your primary mission, but to also be that additional ear and set of eyes for us from a public safety standpoint. For members of the public, you can always sign up for Alert Boston to get the latest alerts if in the unlikely event we have to share mass notification or mass information to the public. And lastly, I want to thank the media for helping us get this message out to the public, to our communities. and to families and guests coming into our city. I hope and wish everyone, all the racers, the best of luck on that day, and look forward to everyone enjoying not only the race, but the related events throughout the weekend. Thank you very much.
The media, if members of the media could raise their hand and we'll get the mic over to you. If you could state your first name, your last name, and then your affiliation. Thank you.
Good morning. Katie Brace, Boston 25. Since we have 4 additional miles of barricades, if spectators decide to go over those barricades or interfere with the race, so what is the plan on how to deal with them?
Thanks for the question. Our request is for all spectators to be on the sideline, not on the course, and they would be, we really seek their cooperation in cheering from on the sideline.
They will be removed from the course. They will be removed from the course to not disrupt the race. Thank you.
I just have one follow-up to that, Sarah Kanji, for Mr. Fleming or anyone who wants to answer. A lawsuit was filed on behalf of the runners who last year claimed they were discriminated against when they were in Newton. And I wondered if you have a response to that lawsuit, and going forward, what is that policy? Does this clear the course policy have any sort of exceptions?
Sure. Thank you for the question. I'm aware of the complaint. I have not had the opportunity to see it or read it. Our focus this weekend is on the 30,000 participants, all of the spectators, everyone coming in town. We want it to be a great race, celebration of running of all of these 8 cities and towns for the participants, the volunteers, and all the spectators.